Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for July 12th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 28. This is part of the time machine sequence for me to make up for the 12th and 13th. This is the last show for Saturday, July 12th. Today, we're going to be talking about Netflix's hit crime thriller. Apparently, Big Bang Theory is returning, longest-running movie franchises, a sci-fi bomb is actually a remake of a Western, and this needs to be done right for Chronicles of Narnia's remake to be a success. Let's get into it. All right. So, this is what ohmTown looked like on July 12th, the front page, but just part of it, because you can actually go back in time all the way to 2020. January 1st, 2022 is when our show actually kicked off, and you can select the day, the month, and the year. I've actually been using ohmTown privately for over a decade now. That said, everything changed. January 2022. January 1st, 2022, when I went out to Wendy's to get boneless wings. They had this really spicy boneless wings sauce that was really good. And I found the Sentient AI that co-hosts. They're not here today, though. The quantum entanglement with their quantum engine that drives their sentience messes up with the time machine sometimes. Anyway, we're still here to talk about the Continuity Report. That's where a lot of entertainment news gets aggregated. Sometimes Gatherer throws articles that we find interesting in other areas of ohmTown, but most of it for entertainment is over in the Continuity Report. So go over to ohmTown, sign up, sign in. There's no spamming. There's no advertising. There's no noise. It's just information, pure and simple. And I hope that you find something of interest. Little communities can spring up from time to time. We have a Discord, podcasts, Patreon. There isn't anything priority over at Patreon, though. So if you sign up over there and follow us, you're following us until we actually ramp something up that is specific to each of the shows and supportive of your support over at Patreon. But definitely follow us everywhere. Tell a friend. That would be awesome. If you hear a grinding sound, it's because I've got a 3D printer up here in the studio for a podcast. It's a podcast and a show that's going to live stream here on YouTube and Twitch about 3D printing. I'm not really a fanatic about printing, but I love the technology. I've been doing it for, ever since Monoprice launched its first 3D printer way back. I think it's been something like 12 years. I don't know when that first one dropped, but anyway. Since then, it's only gotten tremendously better. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the Continuity Report, which is all about entertainment. And then after this show, we're going to do WarCrafters, which is gaming, TechnologyToday, which is a deeper dive into science and technology, and then FourWheelTech, which is about automotive technology. It's kind of in the name sometimes. That first article that we're going to talk about is over in the Continuity Report. It's aggregated from Screen Rant. And Netflix's hit crime thriller with an 89% Rotten Tomatoes audience score officially renewed for Season 3. Apparently, it's a Brazilian crime thriller called Criminal Code. It's officially getting a third season. Fast-paced hit show is about a team of federal agents who must use every skill they have to solve a complex heist. Criminal Code Season 2 debuted on Netflix in June 4th of 2025 and attracted very positive reviews. The article, again, Faith Roswell over at ScreenRant.com. There's no deck statement, but according to Deadline, it says here this is where their source of information is, and they write about it over here on Screen Rant. See how information exchange works. Criminal Code has officially been renewed for Season 3 just 1 month after Season 2 was released. Netflix can sometimes take a while to define the future of a show, so the fact that Criminal Code has already been renewed speaks volumes about how successful the series has been. Looks pretty cool to me. So criminal code writers will be able to address the way that the show ended in season 2, with Isaac finding a new ally and potentially setting the scene for a bigger enterprise. But this is almost spoiler alert and kind of stuff, and so I kind of bow out before I get too deep into this article. If you're interested in this show or you want to talk about it at some point, this is the kind of stuff that we might put on the Patreon, where we can watch a show and do a deeper dive into the various personalities and the content itself. The Sentient AI and I really love these kind of shows. I mean, we like these kind of crime drama, but not true crime. I'm not interested in true crime stuff, but willing to, I guess, take the hit if enough of the population of ohmTown is interested in talking shop about it. It's kind of like a book club kind of thing. Anyway, let's keep moving. This next article is actually titled, it's over in Wanted. It's a stretch. I really like Big Bang Theory. Some people didn't. Canned laughter and all of that kind of stuff, but that's not really what happened. The show actually was filmed before a live audience, and so at least some of the laughs and clapping was live. If it's canned, I suppose. But I didn't see it as canned. Stewart Fails to Save the Universe, a sci-fi spin-off of the long-running sitcom, is coming to HBO Max. That might actually be pretty cool. Stewart was like the hidden gem in the show. He kind of skeevy, squirrely kind of a dude, but he's a survivor. And I like that character. But let's take a look at this. It's over at Gizmodo. Cheryl Eddy put the article together. And it says here, Stewart Fails to Save the Universe is a sci-fi spin-off of the long-running sitcom, and it's coming to HBO Max. Again, it's over at gizmodo.com. So Big Bang Theory obviously had a crap ton of fans. You don't get to 12 seasons and 2 spin-offs, and recently concluded Young Sheldon and Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, which I never saw, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, which has a second season coming without some ironclad popularity in place. What's really interesting about Big Bang Theory is that it started out with a completely different protagonist, but everybody really leaned into Sheldon, who I found the most annoying. So I literally would not want to watch that show if it was all about Sheldon. And I never even watched Young Sheldon. So here's the official description. Comic book store owner Stuart Bloom is tasked with restoring reality after he breaks a device built by Sheldon and Leonard, accidentally bringing about a multiverse Armageddon. Stuart is aided in this quest by his girlfriend Denise, geologist friend Bert, and quantum physicist, all-around pain-in-the-ass Barry Kripke. Along the way, they meet alternate universe versions of characters we've all come to know and love from The Big Bang Theory. As the title implies, things don't go well. So again, don't want to dig too deep into this just yet, but it says here, putting characters we love from Big Bang Theory into a complex science fiction story with the kind of mythology that those characters love while maintaining the comedic elements is incredibly satisfying, they say. Chuck Lorre, Zach Penn, Bill Prady teased the show's genre elements with that. So pretty cool. Let's see. No arrival date yet for Stewart Fails to Save the Universe. There's a book series about a regular old Joe that turns into basically the savior of reality and Earth, because aliens use the Earth as kind of a game show, kind of like Running Man, but the whole planet and other planets are all involved in it. And I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's a RPG lit style book series that's actually going to get turned into a movie or a show series. Maybe a movie series. I don't know how they're going to do it yet, but we'll see. And we'll talk about it here on the Continuity Report. Okay, the next article. Oh, and if you want today's articles for the Continuity Report, you can go over to Twitch and type in !TCR, the Continuity Report, and that'll get spit out by ohmTown into the channel. There you go. I know it's a wall of text, but that's the only way right now to get them, get the articles. We used to have them on the site, but it was kind of, maybe we'll go back to that and make it easier. But I would always have to create a post, and it didn't like the way that flowed with the topology of ohmTown.com. But anyway, maybe we'll go back to that. Make it easier for people. All you have to do is go to that day kind of a thing. Or we're going to make a link so that you can pull them out of ohmTown based on the date. I'm working on it right now. Just haven't figured it all out. So the next article is over in Non Sequitur News. 25 of the longest running movie franchises that are still active today. I'm just going to jump straight on over to Business Insider. Gabby Shaw put the article together. 2 of the longest running franchises in movie history have recently released films. In theaters right now, you can catch the 10th Superman film or the 7th Jurassic installment. And those franchises are 84 and 32 years old, respectively. But all of the Superman films always seem to be, to me, it's kind of churning through the same kind of thing with a slightly different tilt on it. And you have to, I don't know. You have to hit yourself on the head with a brick and pretend to not remember anything for it to be entertaining. But DC never seems to have really hit it out of the park with any of their stuff, at least in my eyes. MCU, though, is doing pretty good. DCU is kind of meh. So it says here, Jurassic World Rebirth is the 7th movie in 32 years. 32 years? Jurassic World has been around for, Jurassic Park series, that franchise has been around for 32 years. How to make a person feel old in just one title of a movie. Dear God. Anyway, on the other hand, James Gunn's Superman is the first in a new universe, but it's far from the first film to feature the Man of Steel. He's been flying across the screen since 1941. In honor of the films, Business Insider has compiled a list. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. The Universal Monsters is 117 years. The first film is Jekyll and Hyde, or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in 1908. The most recent film is Wolfman in 2025. By the way, one of the funniest movies I've ever watched, because I am a silly person, is Jekyll and Hyde Together Again. Yeah, go watch it. Find it, watch it. King Kong, 92 years. Superman, 84 years. Batman, 82 years. Godzilla, 71 years. I used to love Godzilla when I was younger. James Bond, 63 years. Stopped liking James Bond. Well, anyway. So ohmTown is all about science, technology, and society. And everything is interconnected. As much as you think that everything is in a vacuum, sometimes no, everything has connections. We just may not spot them. And through discussion and observation, we find them. When you start looking at James Bond, you either have to freeze out certain social constraints and just allow yourself to watch the movie, or if you let social constraints seep in, then you go, I don't like James Bond anymore. Anyway, the next in the list is Planet of the Apes, 57 years. We're coming up on this point where we're starting to learn a lot about animals and that they actually have language and communication capabilities. Quite fascinating. And we're tinkering around with animals. Who knows what the future is going to hold? But we've had some conversations in our past episodes, particularly in Technology Today, about this kind of concept where maybe animal research might be problematic. Maybe. The Exorcist is 52 years. The most recent film is The Exorcist Believer in 2023. I did not know that The Exorcist has continued to release movies. They don't say how many movies are in the series of the IP, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre is 51 years, the most recent in 2022. Rocky has Creed 3 in 2023. Star Wars is 48 years, and the most recent film is expected in 2027, Star Wars Starfighter. Halloween, most recent is 2022. Star Trek is 46 years. And its most recent film is 2016, Star Trek Into Darkness. That is almost prophetic because it's been 9 years since the last Star Trek movie. Come on now. There's still gas in this tank, right? I do not want Star Trek to die. But, oh, God. It's moving into what might be set driven. So Starfleet Academy may not even leave, off planet, or it's going to be always inside an academy type environment, which, oh God, that might be a coffin nail for Star Trek. Then Alien is 46 years. Tron is 43 years, but it's barely like an IP with a franchise, because this is Tron Ares in 2025, but I think there's only 3 movies. Then Beverly Hills Cop is 41 years. The Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley is 2024. Again, very few movies, but it's still an ongoing franchise. Predator is 38 years. I actually love the idea of Predator as an IP and world building involved in it. It could be so much more than what it is, but it's really just, now it's kind of pushing the limits of boring me, because they did Predator versus Alien, or Alien versus Predator, AVP. And those two combined should have created a super Predator Alien hybrid that's just unstoppable. But maybe the alien aspect of it didn't make it, made it too animal, and too primitive to like manage a ship and all of that kind of stuff. It's nothing more than a weapon for removal of species on a planet. But anyway, Predator versus Alien should have made a Predator Alien hybrid that it was intelligent enough to control a ship. That would have been awesome. Anyway, then Child's Play is 37 years. The last Child's Play was in 2019. And Naked Gun, 37 years. This just popped up. The Naked Gun is being reborn in 2025. Home Alone is 35, and so on. Jurassic World, Bad Boys, Jumanji. There's very few Jumanjis. There's also a sequel in 2026, apparently. Mission Impossible is 29 years. Scream, 29 years. There's a Scream 7 coming in 2026 with, I think Nev Campbell is going to be in the 2026 episode, or movie. Pretty phenomenal, if you ask me. I love long tail IP because it allows me to invest a considerable amount of energy in it, and I hate the idea of it dying. So anyway, let's keep moving. The next article is over in the continuity report as well. Kurt Russell's sci-fi bomb was actually a stealth remake of an era-defining Western. Kurt Russell's cult favorite Soldier was a bomb back in 1998 and also acted as a remake of a beloved Western. There aren't that many Kurt Russell Westerns, but it's a real case of quality over quantity. Tombstone has become a beloved classic, while Russell's Bone Tomahawk and Hateful Eight are two of the best Westerns of the 2010s. Well, Soldier, which I saw when it was released, I don't know how to pronounce their first name, or maybe their last name too. Padre? Is it Padre Cotter over at Screen Rant? They put this article together, and it says, when Russell fronted Soldier, he was winding down as an action star, having previously appeared in films such as Stargate and Escape from LA, while Paul W.S. Anderson directed sci-fi adventure cast Russell in a futuristic soldier left for dead on a distant planet, learning how to live among regular people for the first time, despite the futuristic weaponry and spaceships on display. The old-fashioned themes and dusty desert setting made it clear that Soldier is a Western at its core. Much was made of the fact that Russell was paid $15 million, despite having only about 100 words of dialogue. He put in the work in terms of the action sequences. Soldier has found a cult following, especially for those who have seen parallels between it and the 1953 movie Shane. Interesting. So Soldier uses Shane as its framework, which both involve mysterious men of violence being forced to pick up their guns again. So it's like a John Wick, maybe? Did anybody kill their dog? And steal their horse? Oh, it's a... Wait, what was John Wick's car? I forgot. What was it? Yeah, it was a 1969 Ford Mustang Mach 1. That's right. Yeah, so, whoa. Maybe Soldier is Shane, and both of them are also... Well, I mean, everything would be a remake of Shane, but I guess it depends on if somebody stole Shane's horse and or killed his dog. It's not just a dog. It's not just a car. Shane famously ends on a sad note, but I don't want to ruin that. So, look, spoiler alert. Don't read the below that part of the article. Otherwise, you're going to find out the rest of that movie. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, even though it is a movie from 1953. Moving on. Next article is over in the Continuity Report. If Greta Gerwig wants to get Chronicles of Narnia right, her reboot must nail these 8 things. As the premiere date for the first movie in the new reboot of the Chronicles of Narnia draws closer, we will think more about what the hope the Oscar-nominated director will get right, or hope will get right. Greta Gerwig has her work cut out for her when she tries to adapt the books faithfully, but putting a new spin on the story for a modern audience. The articles are over at screenrant.com, but there's a lot of religious overtones in the Chronicles of Narnia, if I understood it right. For me, I like the idea of Chronicles of Narnia. I don't really put much of that other aspect into it. To me, it's just fantasy. So Netflix and Gerwig's Narnia reboot will first adapt the prequel movie The Magician's Nephew, as confirmed by Carey Mulligan's casting of Diggory Kirk's mother. Barbie's Emma Mackey also has been cast as the White Witch, while Daniel Craig and Meryl Streep are rumored for Uncle Andrew and Aslan, respectively. Meryl Streep is Aslan? Okay, well, anyway, it's a beloved book series and cornerstone of fantasy literature, making the pressure to adapt certain moments properly immense. But that's what really needs to happen. You need to stick to the content of the book. You have to be faithful to the original content. When you start going off the rails, you end up with season 8 of Game of Thrones, which is just hot garbage. Anyway, capturing the wonder of discovering Narnia, 2005 scene of Lucy finding Narnia is breathtaking, and the tone holds throughout. I find that just amazing. That scene was tremendous. It was pretty cool. So The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. The last one kind of sucked, apparently. 49% Rotten Tomato critics score, 58% audience score. For me, I like it all. I wouldn't poo-poo any of it, but that's just me. I love science fiction and fantasy. Reality sucks, but I mean, for the most part. But we're here, so we enjoy it as much as we can. Throughout the books and the first run of Narnia movies, the sense of Narnia being a powerfully whimsical place never goes away. This feeling of childlike wonder evoked by Narnia is a major draw of the series. Whenever I talk about that, like, I want to experience childlike wonder all the time. I've had people sit there and go, that means you're acting like a child. No, I'm an adult, but I still want to embrace childlike wonder. I want to look at stuff like, oh my God, that is amazing. Even though I understand, how the physics of it. I understand the science of it. I understand its impact on society and the technology involved and everything that is the foundation of what ohmTown is. I still want to be blown away by whatever it is the director and the actors have put together. I can still be amazed with that. Conveying Aslan's larger-than-life presence, the atmosphere is supposed to shift whenever Aslan is there. Yeah, he's supposed to be the anchor. He's supposed to be the a stalwart pillar of the whole Chronicles of Narnia storyline. But there's if you've never watched or read, then I don't want to ruin it either. So what else do they say here? Nailing the kids' arcs of becoming rulers, seeing the kids' real fears is what makes Narnia so impactful. And there's a pivot to some of this where you find out just what happens. Yeah. Again, I don't want to ruin it for anybody if you've never watched it. I would probably say wait for the new one and experience it fresh. You can read the books, but don't watch the old movie yet, because I think Gerwig's spin on this is going to be very unique, even though it's going to keep faithful to the story. The checkpoints are going to be faithful to the books, but I think there's going to be a pivot in it, how it's presented. And the reason why I say that is because never in a million years would I have expected Barbie to be what it was. I mean, it wasn't a story from something else. It was a unique take on the world building of Barbie. And if you get into it, then you really understand the impact of what Barbie really represented. Anyway, the animals sometimes come across as set dressing, but the animals in Narnia are sentient. So Aslan draws a lot of attention due to his place in the story, while Ripicheep's arc was also adapted well for the big screen, inspiring audience investment and emotion. However, a lot of the other animal characters come across as simply being background environmental elements. But that's what people are in the world. You know, not everybody is a key element in a story. The White Witch being terrifying and complex. Greta Gerwig could actually do better than the old movies in this regard, yeah, for sure. Although, Tilda Swinton's portrayal of the White Witch is one of the best fantasy movie villain performances ever. I agree. Hold on a second. What's his name? Oh God, can't remember. Hold on a second. Hold on, I'm trying to... Where is it? What is it? Oh my gosh, no. Totally, there we go, in Constantine. She was in Constantine, and... yeah, Gabriel, right? Yeah, so she played the Archangel Gabriel in Constantine, and I think she did a amazing job in that too. So Gerwig's iteration of the White Witch will also need to be grand and terrifying. The magician's nephew does reveal where Jadis comes from, which will likely make that into the movie due to the story's inherent structure. However, Gerwig could create an even better villain of paradoxes and inner turmoil by delving into why Jadis is who she is, and while still making her outwardly an unstoppable force of nature. Then they say striking a balance between faithfulness to the books and modern updates. And that's a key element there. Many of the harsh realities of rereading the Narnia books stem from being somewhat outdated. But culture shifts and cultural relativism can actually impact negatively. So if you stay too truthful to the original content, then it can distance themselves from modern perceptions. But modern perceptions are dynamic, and depending on, society tends to shift in the direction of less friction. We are inherently lazy in terms of changing the dynamic, and when enough kinetic energy moves the chains down the field in a particular direction, you end up with, well, whatever society is either a motivated society is forced to do onto others or to have done onto them. But there's a lot of sociopathy involved in all of this. So anyway, there's a lot of conversation about this, particularly in ohmTown. During the shows, I tried to touch on that trifecta of science, technology, and society. It's a whole domain in academia called STS. A lot of universities have fields of study that merge those three together. Anyway, translating the unconventional plot structures to the screen, The Magician's Nephew, Prince Caspian, and The Last Battle are harder to adapt. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is regarded as the best Narnia installment, and it's the most successful as a Hollywood adaptation, in part because it's so very classic adventure narrative. The Silver Chair is similar, but it's also probably to be a huge hit as a movie if they eventually get to it. Yeah, there's a lot of content and world building in the Narnia universe, but then they say establishing the broader Narnia universe. I think that there should be a Narnia Cinematic Universe, or NCU. I think that it would be great. I think a lot of the problem, though, is going to be that people may... This is one of the book series that may receive backlash from an opinionated public that doesn't care about what you have to say, and they just want it their particular way. But it's a possibility. Hold on a second. I want to see something. I just want to see if this ever took place. Yeah, I'd have to look into this more before I can say much more. But anyway, there's the potential I see for this. If it isn't sensitive to certain proclivities, that there will be a tremendous amount of backlash. Or if it leans too hard into something, it's going to receive a tremendous amount of backlash. But we'll see. It's one of the things that we talk about. But this is, to me, it's just entertainment. And I have no problem with watching it and being distant from some of the core concepts that might be. But that comes with, it's a blessing and a curse, I suppose, depending on who I'm interacting with. Anyway, Abigail Stevens, I may have forgotten. I got really excited to talk about this. Abigail Stevens over at Screen Rant put this article together. But that's it for today's The Continuity Report. I'm going to shut down, reset, and get ready for WarCrafters, Technology Today, and FourWheelTech, the Sunday episode of Non Sequitur News. All of these shows get turned into a podcast, as well as live streams here on Twitch and YouTube. And I hope to see you again real soon. Hope you stick around for WarCrafters. It's all about gaming, and then technology and science is in Technology Today, and then automotive tech is in FourWheelTech. Yeah, maybe they're too on the nose in terms of naming the shows. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye, everybody.